Just when you think you got it all figured out and you're safe and sound at the end of Phase 2, man, do they really just drop the bombs in here and the twists keep on coming.
Naruto number 63, one more face.
Reaction and double crossing, and it's just all getting so good. So good. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and Orochimaru lovers of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, the tantalizing, the backstabbingly great tale of Naruto. Our last chapter saw us with, of course, Naruto kind of coming through in the end and really just kind of pulling I thought a great move and one of his best moves, I guess you would say, in the series so far. And I wouldn't even say move, I would just say kind of the whole set of tactics that he used to get to the point where at the end of the chapter they obviously have the drop on this other team, the team with the respirators that are from the village of Mist. And so they're behind him, they got the drop on him, and Naruto goes, he's like, I'll take care of these guys, and Sasuke, you know, because Sasuke was like, oh, don't worry, you know, you're pretty tired, I'll mop up for you. Anyway, that's where the chapter left off. The chapter winds up picking up over here. These ninjas wind up using a similar technique again. They use shadow clones again, and but these are mist shadow clones or something like that. I didn't quite understand it. They basically just did the exact same thing that they did before. And they wind up doing that at the beginning of this chapter. Nobody can figure out where they are. Naruto first is just kind of charges head first. First, I want to mention that it wasn't only me in the last chapter that thought that Naruto is really stepping up his game. You wind up seeing from, you know, Sasuke, Sakura, as well as Kabuto, you know, about how they're very impressed with him. Sasuke and Sakura especially, you know, where did this, you know, just kind of awesomeness come from? You know, what he did creating all of those clones of himself, and then, you know, slowly going and replacing those and recreating the other three team members and whatnot to go and swap them out was absolutely just ingenious. It was wonderful, and it was something that you would not expect of Naruto. So I wasn't the only one who was surprised. They made mention of that at the beginning. Then we wind up getting, they're trying to figure out how obviously to get through to figure out who the real ones are, you know. So Naruto goes and he's like, well, there's got to be some real bodies in there somewhere. So he just goes plowing ahead, man, he's like a fucking running back that's got the rock, boy, and he's just running for the end zone. He just starts going through, tackles through a couple of them, goes through a couple of them, and nothing. He winds up, there winds up being nothing. Anyway, and then Kabuto winds up coming in and actually saving Naruto from getting nailed. Naruto goes and takes his eyes off of them for a second, you know, puts his guard down, and one of them, you know, goes to attack him. Kabuto winds up kind of diving in and saving the day, knocking Naruto out of the way. Sasuke goes and decides that the only way he's going to see through whatever this illusion is they have is to use the Sharingan. And even though it hurts him to use it, he winds up, I'm assuming because of that curse bite by Orochimaru, but he uses the Sharingan and winds up going, and it looks like he sees through the illusion, sees that they're all bullshit clones, and then they all just start on fire, it appears to be. So so obviously he's got some cool moves and some cool hops as well. So as he's kind of going and burning some of them down, they're still trying to go and figure out where the hell these things are coming from. You know, Kabuto winds up going and actually getting jacked up by one of these guys. Sasuke, the bottom line is I don't want to get through this quick enough here so I can have time for the cool bombshell shit that happened at the end of the chapter. The bottom line is Sasuke winds up seeing through it, and they wind up using, they said a Doton, which is basically this jutsu where they still wind up using these clones and mist and everything like that, but they actually go down into the ground, I'm assuming, you know, soften themselves or soften the ground somehow so they can pretty much hide in the ground. They can attack from the ground, from the shadows, so to speak. Nobody's looking down at their feet while there is all these clones going around. So it's basically just another way of smoke and mirrors of them using these illusions. Anyway, Kabuto winds up getting hit, and his glasses get knocked off. He had gotten slashed, and it looks like he's done for. And then right as he's about to get nailed, Naruto just kind of comes in and just, boom, just nails all of them, man. I mean, takes them out. Everybody's knocked unconscious. They get the scroll. They win. That's the end. That's the end of the first half of the chapter. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. That was really neat. That was very well played, you know. And Sasuke goes and says something about he sees in Kabuto's eyes. He sees this sort of, it's a weird look that Kabuto gets in his eyes. It's hard to explain it, but it doesn't look human, right? And this is after his glasses get knocked off and he's just about to get nailed, you know? It looks like there's something else going on there. And Sasuke even makes mention of there's just something about him he can't pinpoint, he just doesn't trust, right? So we go and Team 7 winds up getting with Kabuto, winds up after this. They, of course, collect their scroll, and they get to the tower in the center of the Forest of Death, right? The end of Phase 2. And apparently there's different doors that you go into. This is another part that confused me at first, too. Maybe depending on which gate you started from is which door you have to go into. That's what I'm assuming, because they basically go and kind of go to just, they're going to part ways, kind of shake hands, hey, buddy, give each other some bro hugs. Kabuto's other 2 teammates, I guess they were already there waiting, because they kind of jump out of the, the shadows, and they're like, hey, where were you? You're late. So, anyway, that team kind of goes in, and then Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura go into a separate door. Well, then we go and we get this cool thing where it's all done in, kind of like with a shadows type deal until you get to the next page. But the bottom line is that waiting inside the door for Kabuto and his team, he's waiting for a report on Naruto, is Orochimaru. He's either waiting for a report on Naruto or Sasuke. I'm assuming Sasuke, though, because of the bite, but also maybe Naruto because he knows about him having the nine-tailed demon inside of him and everything else. I'm not really quite sure about that. But I was thinking, holy shit. So this dude's been playing us the whole time. He wipes his hand across his face, and that cut that he had disappears. And when he asks, because he gives him the information, Orochimaru was asking him questions, and he's like, it almost seems like you care, like about, that you're nervous about him. And he's like, no, I just wanted to know what your opinion was, right? As one of my sound ninja spies. So, is Kabuto, I thought Kabuto was actually from the Leaf Village, from Konoha Village, but I might be remembering that wrong. And if I am, I'm wondering is this one of the sound ninjas that got beat up and whatnot, and just, used some kind of illusion, or through Orochimaru and some of his magic, used an illusion to go and look like Kabuto, and he's actually not? Or is Kabuto actually working for Orochimaru, and he's one of his spies? Either way, still a very, very cool twist and kind of bombshell for me that was dropped, because it was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? So Orochimaru goes and tells him good work and disappears in a puff of smoke, and we know they're done. Then it goes to the end of the chapter, and the end of the volume, as a matter of fact, and it's Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and they actually go and they get inside of their area, and it's like an empty room. There's nothing there, and there's actually this scroll that's written on the wall over here, and let's see here if I can. It's real small. If qualities of heaven are your desire, acquire wisdom and knowledge to take your mind higher. If earthly qualities are what you lack, train your body in the fields and prepare to attack. When both heaven and earth are open together, the path of peril will revert to the righteous path forever. This, and then there's a blank spot, is the secret way that guides us on from this place today. The third Hokage. And so this was written in here, and I apologize. It's, well, obviously I'm visually impaired to begin with. That's why I wear glasses, but this writing is like super, super tiny on here. Nonetheless, though, so they think that they have to go and maybe open up both the Heaven and Earth scrolls at the same time, and maybe that's why maybe they have to place them in there. However it is, that's we're just kind of left off with the whole, like, we're about to open the scrolls, it looks like. And that's kind of how we're left hanging, and like a, hey, fuck you, to be continued in Volume 8. So, I'm definitely excited to be digging into the next one over here. That's how the chapter ends, that's how the volume ends. My chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is what were your thoughts on, did you see it coming as far as Kabuto being this spy for Orochimaru? Again, I'm not quite sure if it's actually the real Kabuto, or if it is a, if it was obviously like a clone of him, he was just impersonating him, and it's one of the Sound Ninja, because he said it from the Sound Village. But either way, did you see that coming? Because I honestly didn't. I really thought that Kabuto, just from the first time I was like, well, he just seems like sort of like a decent dude, and he's taken the exam several times, got a lot of info, seems kind of like a bookworm type of dude. But let me know what your thoughts are, though. Did you see it coming? Let me know in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Remember to follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and hell, even my other channel, why don't you?